What is the true essence of selflessness, selfishness, and self-sacrifice? Are they as black and white as they seem? Or is there a subtle interplay of shades in between? These are the questions that often boggle our minds, and today we'll delve into their depths to uncover the answers. Imagine a spectrum. On one end, you have selflessness, the act of giving without expecting anything in return. It's about putting others' needs before your own. It's an admirable trait, often associated with kindness, compassion, and empathy. But like all things, when taken to an extreme, it can become detrimental. When selflessness crosses into the realm of self-sacrifice, it's no longer healthy. It becomes a loss of oneself, a disregard for personal boundaries, and a disregard for one's own needs and desires. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have selfishness. It's about prioritizing your needs, wants, and desires above all else. It's often seen as a negative trait, associated with greed, arrogance, and a lack of concern for others. But much like selflessness, when viewed from a different perspective, it can also be necessary for survival. It's about self-preservation, about acknowledging and respecting one's own needs and desires. But when it becomes all-consuming, it can lead to isolation and a lack of connection with others. Now imagine the middle of the spectrum, the sweet spot, if you will. It's a place where you care about others, but also about yourself. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to give and when to hold back, when to sacrifice and when to preserve. It's about understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup, that to truly care for others, you must first care for yourself. It's about recognizing that it's okay to say no, that your needs and desires are just as important as those of others. We've learned that selflessness, selfishness, and self-sacrifice are not as black and white as they seem. They exist on a spectrum, with self-sacrifice and selfishness at the extremes and a balanced state of self-care in the middle. We've learned that selflessness, while admirable, can become detrimental when it crosses into self-sacrifice, and that selfishness, while often seen as negative, can also be a necessary act of self-preservation. We've learned that the key lies in balance, in caring for others without neglecting ourselves, in giving without losing ourselves, and in understanding that it's okay to prioritize our needs and desires. So next time you find yourself struggling with the concepts of selflessness, selfishness, and self-sacrifice, remember the spectrum. And remember, it's not about choosing one over the other, it's about finding the balance. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to be happy too.